Good morning, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than something I normally do. Today I'm actually going to be not really per se reviewing a product, but I'm going to be testing a product that was provided to me by a company called Super Clean. So maybe early last week sometime I was contacted by a fellow named Todd who works for Super Clean. He had seen my channel, and whoever runs their YouTube channel now subscribed to my channel, and he asked me if I'd be interested in doing a review or testing out some of their products on some engines. So I was like, sure, why not? So he sent me a package of some Super Clean products, and I'm going to open them up right now, see what we've got to work with, and then I'm going to explain the few tests that I'm going to do on them today. So first, what's inside the box? Get this packing material out. The first thing we have here is a 32-ounce bottle of Super Clean all-wheel cleaner. Let's move this down here. The next bottle we have is a 32-ounce bottle of Super Clean Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser in a spray bottle. Next we have a aerosol can of Super Clean. It's basically the same as this, it's just in a spray can, and here it says it foams up and it stays on the product. So these are the products I've got to work with. There is also a hat and a shirt included in here. So as I said, Super Clean is now subscribed to my channel, and I briefly went to their channel just to check it out when I was looking at the new subscribers. I have not watched any of their videos whatsoever because I did not want to have my opinion biased in any way against these or towards these products. Now, many of you know that I am not a sponsor for LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner, but I use that exclusively to clean all my engines, and I've mentioned it in many videos. So we're going to try out this Super Clean. And I've got some engine parts here that I'm going to explain here about the testing I'm going to do on this particular video today. I'm going to do basically two tests. So let me slide over here to this other side of the table and we'll talk about that. Okay, so the timing of Todd's email to me was actually very key, because had I not just received some used engines that required cleaning, I would have had to decline, because none of the engine I had on hand were in a state that needed to be cleaned. So it was very lucky, very fortunate on both our parts that this happened. So the first engine I'm going to show you here is this is an engine, it's an OS FS 91 Surpass engine, and this engine was featured in a video just recently about how bad the bearings are. Now hopefully in the sunlight here you're going to be able to see the dirt and grime and grit on this engine, and this is what I'm hoping will come clean. Now for this particular engine I'm going to do a complete disassembly. I'm not going to make a video of that. I'm going to completely disassemble this engine and put all the individual parts in the ultrasonic cleaner, and this is the engine I'm going to be using, or the test bed I'm going to be using in parts for ultrasonic cleaning using Super Clean. So that's what this engine is. Now the tests that are going to be done in today's video are right here. Now, I've got a KNB 40 engine without a carb, but it's pretty caked on with some grime and everything. This is going to be a very challenging test, but you know, that's what we're going to do here. I've got some exhausts that have various levels of grime and grit on them. And what I'm going to do with these, some of these parts, is I'm going to use the aerosol cleaner, and I'm going to spray some of this aerosol cleaner on probably the engine and one of these exhausts, and I'm going to let it sit, and then I'm just going to use a toothbrush and see if I can scrub it off with that. This particular bin and exhaust is going to be in my test bed for using the standard liquid that I would actually be putting in my ultrasonic cleaner. And the purpose of this particular test is, the first thing I want to know before I go any further really, and I told Todd this, was I need to know if after 5 minutes of this cleaner touching an engine component if it's going to discolor it. If it's going to discolor it and darken this engine, all testing is done then, and I won't be using these products because I will not use a product that's actually going to do damage or discolor the engine case. That's one of the reasons I use LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner. Now, the other thing with the OS Surpass is these tests are going to be done at ambient temperature. When I use my ultrasonic cleaner, I actually turn the heater up to 120 degrees. So hopefully the addition of heat isn't going to be one of those things that actually adversely affects this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to open this bottle up. Okay, I guess it was open. I'm going to pour a small amount of this cleaner, and since I've only got 32 ounces to use, I don't want to use too much, even though what I put in here I will pour in my ultrasonic cleaner and reuse, because this one cleaner here, the all-wheel cleaner, I believe I read that this actually says something about it could be used as a substitute for CLR, which that's not something I want to put on these engine parts. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pour a little bit on this, or actually just in here, and I'm just going to let this sit in here like that for the duration of this and see if it discolors this part after a few minutes. Now I'm going to put some gloves on because I'm not sure what this cleaner is going to do to my hands. So better be safe than sorry. I'm going to put some gloves on here. Now, as I said, this particular test I'm going to use this spray cleaner. And let's see here, it says directions: avoid damaging surfaces, pre-test on inconspicuous area for surface integrity, cover surface with super clean to the appropriate strength, allowing time to dissolve grease and grime. I don't know if it says anything about shaking it, but I did shake it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just spray. I really didn't want to get that in the engine there, but I did. Now we're just going to leave this on here for a few minutes, and then I'll use my toothbrush and clean it off. Okay, one thing I'm noticing in this bin, and it looks like I've got a shadow on here, hopefully you can see, is that I see some white foam, a catalytic reaction of some sort it looks like taking place here. And I'm going to leave this in there just like it was and see if that discolors that engine. These have been in here for a couple of minutes, and as you can see, it's starting to remove some of this grime, and it looks like it's doing a really good job of it too. Now I don't have any alcohol out here with me to rinse these parts, so I might need to step away for a second and go see if I can get a little bit of water or some alcohol so I can rinse these parts off. Looks like you can see here by the bin that this is really attacking this grime and stuff on here, and it seems to be working really well. This was an extremely harsh test because I could tell by looking at this engine that this stuff was baked on here and had been on here for many years. In fact, I might actually spray a little bit more on here because I don't see that it looks like it's discoloring this engine. Of course, the engine wasn't exactly pristine to begin with. Wipe this down a little bit, see if we can. Well, you know, looks like it's doing a pretty darn good job here. This was really baked on here, and a lot of that came off, and it looks like it did a really good job here. Let me kind of do a little bit more scrubbing on this exhaust and see what happens with this thing. Now, if the exhaust was already discolored, which some of these may have been, I don't expect this to restore the color to a part. That isn't going to happen. But I'm going to brush on this just a little bit here and then wipe it off just like I did the other part. And I'll use the video before and after pictures to see how it looks. Look at all the grime in this thing. That's how well it cleaned the exhaust. I'm pretty impressed. This looks pretty good so far. Like I said, I see some discoloring on this exhaust, but I don't know, maybe it was already like that. Although, I don't recall it looking like that. This part was sitting up. The bottom here was sitting in whatever was running off this. Whether that was enough to make the discolor change here, I don't know. So our next test was, this has been sitting here just like this. Let's see if it looks like it's discolored this at all. And unfortunately, I think I can see quite a bit of discoloration here. This portion of the exhaust was what was left in this liquid as I had it sitting in here, and it looks like it did discolor it. In fact, I'm not sure, maybe this engine case was discolored also. So, man, I'm really hoping that the lighting here isn't. Put this in light here so you can see. I am seeing some discoloration there. So, hopefully you'll be able to see that on the video. I won't know for sure until I look at the video. Here's the one that was sitting flat in here that I sprayed and then I scrubbed, and all the stuff went down to the bottom. I think you should be able to see a difference there in color between the bottom of this exhaust and the top. Now, I'm pretty damn sure that this exhaust was a uniform color. Okay, so I brought these engine parts into the garage so that I can get another look at them under some different lighting conditions. I've got the 3 K&B exhausts here that I had outside. This middle exhaust was not used at all, was not cleaned. This is what the exhausts all look like as far as the color goes. This is the exhaust that I used. I sprayed the cleaner on and let it sit in there flat in the container, and then I brushed and rubbed it off. You can see the color difference there. This is the exhaust that was sitting angled in that one tub for a few minutes, and you can see the area that it was sitting in the tub is discolored. You can see a definite demarcation line there of how the part was discolored. So, top of this exhaust, which didn't have any cleaner on it at all, this lower portion that did, to me it looks like even for a short time this product is discoloring the case, or at least these engine parts. So unfortunately, as I said I was going to do, that was really going to be the litmus test of this product. Seeing these results, the product looks like it does a very good job of cleaning. Even this really burn-on, grimed up carbon residue. And maybe on shiny parts it would be fine, but these aluminum cases, aluminum engine cases, it looks like it's seriously discoloring them. So personally, I'm not going to recommend using this product to clean your engines. If you choose to do so, I think you will have a cleaner that cleans extremely well, but at the risk of discoloring your part. So I would use use extreme caution in using this, and quite honestly, I don't think I'll be using this to clean any of my engines because I don't want my engines to be discolored. And today when I was at Walmart doing grocery shopping, I did look for Super Clean at my local Walmart. Now when I Googled online, it said that Walmart was a supplier of Super Clean products. I did not see any Super Clean products either in the grocery cleaning aisle nor in the automotive aisle at all, which is where I would have thought I would have seen at least the tire or the wheel cleaner. I did not see that at all. So in my mind right now, I'm still going to continue to use LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner for several reasons. Obviously the first one is that it doesn't discolor engine parts. Even in my ultrasonic cleaner at 120 degrees Fahrenheit liquid, it's cheap and it's readily available. I can go get it at just about any store, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, right around my house. So I can go and get LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner very easily. Super Clean. I haven't looked in many other stores that I frequent, but it wasn't at Walmart, even though online it says it was at Walmart. But based on these results, I can't say that I'm going to be using it. But look at this. It did remove a lot of material. Now, if you're going to be using it on auto parts where you don't care, or other types of parts where discoloration may not be a factor, this is one hell of a product. And it works extremely well. But in my particular application where I clean engines, this is not going to work for me because it discolors the parts. So anyway, thank you, Todd, and thank you, Super Clean, for giving me the opportunity to test out your products.